Hello, this is Robert Capuccio, and thank you for joining me for another PTA Global video blog. I'm here to answer a question presented by Victor the V-Man Verhagen out of Export Fitness, headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. And the question is, does a trainer's level of confidence affect how effective they are with the prospective client or client when conducting a PDQ? And if so, what do you do about those trainers who seem to, lack in the level of confidence that they would require to produce the outcome that they desire? And the first part of the answer is simple. Yes, our level of confidence affects our proficiency in everything that we do. But now let's move on to the second part of the question. Establishing that confidence is important. What do we do with the trainer, or if we are a trainer who seems to lack confidence, what do we do about that? I think the question we need to ask before we even explore the answer is, why do trainers lack confidence in the first place? And there are, quite honestly, a myriad of reasons stemming from each trainer's past experiences, all the way down as far as they can remember in life, and the meaning that they attach to certain events that happen to them. But I think two things that most trainers, not all, have in common whenever there's a lack of confidence is focusing on the outcome in the future or focusing on past events, and both of which take you out of the present moment, which is really important. Now, let's take a look at the first one, focusing on the outcome. If we're focused on how am I being received, am I being effective, am I being persuasive, am I motivating someone, are they going to join, are they going to buy a session? Well, all of those scenarios are possible, but none of them have occurred yet. So the more our head's there, the less present we are in the moment, and the more nervous or performance anxiety we suffer from. The second one, which is where we focus, again, on all of our feelings, how we're feeling the moment, whether we're anxious, whether we're fearful, doubtful, whether we're confident, well, all of those require me focusing on me and not focusing on you. That could decrease performance, and the decrease in performance is felt, it's perceived by reading the facial expressions, tonality, and other aspects of body language from the member, none of which is useful for increasing our level of confidence. So here's one tip that I would suggest. Let go of the outcome. If you find yourself in a situation where you feel that you lack confidence, try to focus on one aspect of the communication with the person sitting in front of you. For example, you could focus on their tonality, their voice inflections, their rate of speech, and throughout the session, focus intently on when something changes. So let's say, for example, the person's speaking really, really fast, and they're really visual and excited, and all of a sudden, their rate of speech changes, or their voice inflection changes. Just notice when that occurs. Don't worry about, what does that mean, or what do I do about that? Forget that, just for one session. Just simply pay attention so you're aware of when it happens. So what does that do? Well, for one, it takes your attention, my attention, completely off of what we're feeling inside at the moment and puts it completely on the member. Now, it's possible to be 100% focused on the member in front of you and still be keenly aware of your emotional state. So the greater you displace or distract yourself from how you're feeling, and the distraction probably should be projected onto the person in front of you, the more confident you're likely to be, or at least the less anxious you're likely to be. And the second part of that is, think about the member. You're 100% focused on some aspect of their being. Now, if you're focusing on what to do with that information, that again could put your attention on the outcome, which could exacerbate your level of anxiety. But if you're just simply focused on one aspect of communication, what you notice, to them, it seems as if you are fully present in the moment, and they are the center of your world. And that can only serve to elevate their perception of feeling important, which is a great rapport builder, and it ministers to one of their greatest human needs, the need to be understood and the need to be significant. Now, let's use an example outside of fitness to bring home what I meant. Imagine two identical twins whose parents were divorced early in life. Now, one parent was really constructive, really supportive. The other parent that the other twin went to go live with was really critical, never satisfied, always coming down on them, and no matter how good that twin did, he never quite did good enough. So one twin grew up with, let's say, a very healthy self-esteem, and the other twin, well, they grew up lacking in self-esteem, lacking in confidence in multiple areas. Now let's say they both chose different careers, but both of those careers coincidentally required them to travel. Now while out on a business trip, both of these brothers in two separate cities of the world walk into a bar. Now, not only do they go into a bar, they're intent on meeting someone in that bar. Hey, they've been on the road for a while, it's kind of lonely. I'm not about to judge, and I hope you don't judge either. Now, let's say the first brother, the one who feels really confident, walks into the bar and looks around. What's the first thing that that individual is paying attention to? What's likely to go through his mind? Now, what's likely to go through his mind is, who in this bar am I attracted to? Now think about the second identical twin. He walks into a bar feeling lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem. What is he likely to focus on? Well, he looks around the bar, and the question he asks himself is, who in this bar is likely to be attracted to me? Now, let's say both of these individuals actually approach someone. Who's going to do better? And the answer is the first twin, for a lot of reasons. One, confidence is attractive, but number two, this individual is focused on the person in front of them, where the second twin, the one who lacks confidence, throughout the whole conversation is going to be self-absorbed, because he doesn't have the confidence to let go and focus single-mindedly on anything or anyone else in that moment. Then his level of inadequacy, or perceived level of inadequacy, will allow.